The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies, New Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnival. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to Crash Course episode number 177 on deck. We're going to be talking with Tim Clark here in just a little bit about the Bash for Cash. We're going to be talking with Willy Lauckner a little later on as he prepares for the 2017 installment of May Mania. We've got Jake Sherman joining us here in the studio. We're going to be talking a little bit about Road Rage Entertainment and the direction that that's going as it comes to being more playing force, so to say, in New York's promotion game, and then also the big plans that he's got since he came back from retirement. He's now spent close to $16,000 buying new cars. And Brian, of course, joining us here in the studio as well. Big day today in terms of Northeast Demolition Derby stuff. Mad Mike celebrating a birthday.
Absolutely.
If you saw that, so happy birthday.
39, which means he's only been derbying for about 30 years now.
Yeah, right.
I think Mike celebrates every day.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
He's a fun guy to hang with, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
He's never for a lack of a good time.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yep. And my beloved Chicago Blackhawks are playing their first game on the road in Nashville. They are down after dropping 2 games in shutouts at home in the opening round of the NHL playoffs. So hopefully they can right that ship tonight. If nothing else, at least St. Louis is now stomping the crap out of Minnesota, which I don't enjoy, but I certainly don't hate either.
Has there been any good fights?
Yeah, there's been a couple guys with some faces that have been knocked in. There's a guy from Columbus who's got a slash under his eye, goes from here up to the corner, it's all black and swollen.
I seen a couple guys took pucks in the face yesterday. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, and Nashville's been doing a great job of doing some slide blocking. They're just getting in front of the shot. The shot's not even making it to the goal, and Picarena's been playing out of his mind, but that takes some... It takes a set.
Oh,
if somebody's ready to uncork an 80, 90-mile-an-hour slap shot, and you're sliding on your belly in front of it, just hoping to God you don't get hit in the face. But, yeah.
Hockey guys are a different breed.
Yeah, they're a little different. A little bit different. I wonder why that's doing that. So, we had one more thing. Oh, celebrating out to Mark Klein at DerbyNation.tv, celebrating a friendiversary with him today. We've been friends for 5 years now, so that's exciting. Moving far along in the world of Facebook. But so that was kind of neat. Josh Decker, he couldn't make it tonight. He's literally working his hands to the bone, which means he's put in about 12 hours of work probably in the last 2 weeks. He's literally exhausted. Got home a little late. He's been cranking out compacts. He's venturing into a new leg of his building career. Working on
Jerry and those guys agreed to start building compacts.
I don't think Gary is Jerry really bothered by it. Do you think?
No, I mean as long as Josh wants him to, I guess he would. But
yeah,
he's got a truck he's working on there. I've seen some pictures.
Well, Jerry's working on a truck. Yeah, I saw the Thunderbird sitting there. I believe that's going to Gully's Father's Day show. The last I heard,
he'll sell that. That's way out of his wheelhorse.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they may get a wild hair and decide to build it just because they hadn't built one before, and end up at somewhere with it. Like I said, he was talking about taking it to Gully's Father's Day show, so should end up there hopefully.
That's not that far away.
No,
it's only a little while.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff coming up fast. This weekend, the Spring Cast and the Valley Show down in Virginia, and we've got the week after that a Spring Explosion, and then 2 weeks after that is May Mania. 2 weeks after that's Bash for Cash. A week after that's Mandan. I think the week after that, or maybe less than, I think it's a week after that is Gully's show, and then 4 weeks after that's Nebraska, and by then all of our local shows have started.
Yeah. Wow. Coming up.
It's
getting busy.
It is right around the corner. So, Jake, in terms of what you guys have been working on at this point, I gotta fix that. What have you guys been working on at this point over there? I know you've spent a lot of time in compacts, but then last year you ventured out and did a little bit of full size stuff. Where are you at now in terms of the build landscape, so to say?
I don't know. I think I went full circle.
Full circle?
Yeah. Well, going back, I think probably to full size. I do have a couple compacts on the list this year to run. One's a team show, Whitney Point, and then I don't know. We got a new member of our Derby team. So
who's this?
Actually, it was kind of out of the blue. We were working in the shop, and kid I never met before shows up. His dad brought him over, and he said that he really loves Derby cars and is fascinated about them, and wanted us give him a little tour of the shop. And his name's Tyler, awesome little dude. So we're gonna hook him up with a car, and it'll be a compact. And where we're gonna take it, I don't know. Given his current medical situation, I don't think he can run in an actual show. So we're going to either look for maybe something where I can run passenger, or maybe some kind of expedition kind of thing during a break or something. I'm going to get with Gully and see what we can do.
Is he a good welder?
No, he's not. I wouldn't think so. I don't think he can weld. But you know what? He's full of life. He's got a lot of ambition. He comes over and he just says, I gave him some hand tools, and he's starting to strip, and he loves it. So
cool.
So we'll work it out and teach him how to drive a car, and see where it leads.
So, in terms of a passenger, I don't know how deep that you want to get this poor guy immersed, but they do have the 2-man extreme truck division coming up in the fall. Have you given any thought to that?
Yeah, no. I think with this guy, I think we're if we can teach him to drive, at least yard drive, and I don't know. I talked with his dad a little bit, and we'll see if we can if he's even going to be allowed to Derby, medically,
right.
And if not, then we'll figure out something for him. Either way, we're going to give him the car, let him do some yard driving, and maybe if he can't Derby, we'll pull it out let him drive it out on the arena or something like that, and we'll get him involved any way we can, right. And go from there. But I don't know. Who's doing the 2-man truck?
Gully's doing that, right?
Gully's doing it at.
And then at Wheel Days, or not Wheel Days, at the Otsego County Fair in Morris, you can have passengers in the trucks.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You can have passengers.
He's got the scars to prove that.
Yeah. Yep.
He's got the 2-man extreme class in the car division out there for San Filippo.
I thought it was truck.
No, it's cars. I got a spot.
I was pretty confident it was trucks.
No, absolutely cars. Cars, and it's his economy V8 rules.
All right. Well, nonetheless.
There's 15 people, and I almost didn't get in.
Yeah?
It was sold out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So what'd you do, just call in favors?
No. I actually was. It kind of sucked because it was my day off, and I don't like to get up early. But it was my day off. I think it was like 8:00 in the morning or whatever it was. And I got, I'm laying in bed. I got the tablet there. I'm waiting. 8:00 hits. I click it and go to buy it. Well, I went to go put in my PayPal information.
Oh no!
And I hit the back button, and it kicked me back out. And I clicked on it again, and luckily I was still able to get in.
Jeez.
But it filled up pretty quick.
Well, that's good though. I mean,
I see a lot of drivers on there. I think it's definitely going to be fast and hard heat.
Ron McClung's in.
Yep, he's in. And it
really?
Looks like it was his son. But I see like Epi's in there.
Yep.
There's a couple of Duncan.
Brian, we talked about how the infighting inside the cockpit of the car would be at Blizzard, or excuse me, at Capital City Carnage.
Yeah.
Jim Eppinger, whoever is driving with him, just be quiet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just wait. You're going to hit something harder than you've ever hit anything before.
I've imagined. I don't know
Epi's
if
awesome.
he's going to be the wheel man or what. But I
let him do whatever he wants.
I'll probably be the wheel man, but I figured it probably is going to be close to, if you can compare it to anything. And of course, I don't know, but just having a throttle stuck, and you know what I mean. And basically, you're just trying to wheel around with a stuck throttle. Is what I'm going to guess it's going to be like. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
That's awesome.
Who are you running with? I'm make some immediate assumptions, but
actually, you wouldn't be able to guess. And unfortunately, he's shy and he doesn't want me to say. So
yeah,
we'll see how that plays out. But Got the car picked out, and so
I think it's cool though. I didn't expect John Muse to come up here and run a 2-man show with you. That's pretty cool.
That would be welcome, but no.
No doubt.
And it would be like running with a throttle stock.
Yeah. Get after it. Did you see the picture on Facebook of Rick Clark with his weekend haul?
Yeah. Easter Bunny was good to him.
Yeah, Easter Bunny was real good.
There's at least 2.5 wagons on there.
There was 3 on there.
I didn't see if the one didn't have a clip on it.
The one had the nose was off, or the front clip was off it, but I'm sure they probably have parts for that.
It was probably in the trailer, passenger seat, whatever.
Do you think there's any chance that any of those wagons will win?
No, there's any chance of how many they'll win. I think is the question there. He can definitely one of my favorite drivers to watch. That's for sure.
Rick does a good job.
I don't know how he does. He just kind of slides the car everywhere he wants to be, and he always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Definitely.
And you can't rattle him.
No, he doesn't get upset.
No,
that's for sure. You can try to shake him as much as you want.
He put on a heck of a show last year at Bash for Cash in his heat. He really did a nice job of driving. He went most of that without steering and just really did an awesome job out there. And it was most of it was right down in front where I was standing, so I was able to watch firsthand. It was really did a nice job.
He and Ron McClung are close friends, and they're so polar opposite. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean, just not to say that one's better than another, but they're so
driving style.
They're so different. It's fun to watch.
See, Ronnie took a Mopar out to Urban Destruction.
Yeah.
And got his money's worth out of that poor car.
Yeah, that car. When we talked to them last week, I asked him about leaving the bumper on or leaving it off because every place I've been, you take the back bumper off those. He goes, it doesn't matter.
Nope, sure doesn't.
It's mostly for defense anyway.
Yeah.
You got any Mopars in the stable yet?
I got a few Imperials, but I don't know if I really call them Mopars.
Go on.
Will be, I can tell you they won't have any Mopar drivetrains. I shouldn't say that. I Mopar motors have always been good to me, but trannies have not. So
you gotta let your foot off the floor before you shift.
Yeah. Well, that's what I talk about going full circle. I've been a little over 20 years driving, and I think about 15 of that was I wasn't a builder or a driver. I was just knock the windows out, full throttle, maybe get 2 hits in, and I was happy,
Right.
I just wanted to be the second guy out, not the first.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that before.
So, last couple of years, I started doing a little more driving, a few more future wins, and I think this year I'm going to do a little building. So, we'll see where it goes.
Very cool.
The hardest part now is just getting all the parts together, and I've been out of the build arena and the full size arena for a few years. And,
all it takes is money.
well, a little money, I guess.
You shook your head like all it takes is money. It does.
you can buy all the parts. I mean, and I have been buying some parts. I got, I was just talking with actually Rick, and I got some stuff coming. I got some stuff coming from near it. I got stuff coming from a few other places, and so it's just getting everything together.
Right.
Hey, it's just you and I going to the bash, right?
Yeah.
Because we may need to haul some parts out and haul some stuff back. So
that's fine.
Don't plan on bringing a lot of equipment.
No problem. Say no more.
All right.
We'll leave everything home. We'll do it all off the video camera.
That's cool.
On the topic of the Bash for Cash, Tim Clark joining us. Tim, how are you?
Hey, all right. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. How's all the planning and everything coming together for Bash for Cash?
It's coming together. I mean, working on it, but it's all coming together.
If it was tomorrow, you'd be ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy.
It is easy.
Tim, you guys make it look easy. That's just it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. This year's going to be a little rougher, but we'll get it done.
So what's any big changes since the last time we talked? Let's make Russ nervous right out of the blocks.
No, I mean, no big changes. I mean, we're going to kind of do a couple. We're still going to do the Mad Dogs out of the heat, and then when the end of the night, we're going to pick the show Mad Dog guy, and we're going to give him another $3,000.
Holy cow!
For like the best Mad Dog of the night, and then I thought about I'm probably going to do it, but if that guy gets the crowd kind of standing up cheering because he's driving crazy, I'm going to throw in another $2,000 so he could go home with like $5,500 with Mad Dog money.
Nice.
Did you tell Russ about that idea before the show, or is he just
Russ has been going through a little bit right now, so no, I haven't. He pretty much knows, but I haven't told him yet.
He pretty much knows. So, I like that. That's a good one.
I kind of wanted this year to kind of have somebody really kind of go crazy, and you see all these shows giving $5,000 with the Mad Dog, so I thought we better step up and start doing it. So I think as long as I get a guy to kind of making the crowd stand up, going crazy, he's probably going to go home happy.
And that's based on.
I don't know if he's going to go home with a good car, but he's going to go home happy. That's for sure.
Just to clarify all that, so that's going to be Mad Dogs out of the heat going into the feature, and then you're going to have one event Mad Dog from any one of the classes, or just from
any one of the classes. I'm going to give him a $3,000. Then, if that Mad Dog driver kind of gets or maybe it might even be somebody else, getting the crowd getting crazy and standing up and cheering, and I'm going to give him another $2,000. So
that's awesome.
One person can go home with a lot of money, or for Mad Dogs, or maybe it might be two people.
Why not?
That's awesome.
Why not? So theoretically, if you won the raffle car and decided to go drive out of your mind, you could win the car and then from there also win a bunch of cash on top of it.
That wouldn't be bad. And then have all the parts off the car to take home.
Right, that's not a bad day.
It's not a bad day.
Yeah, and with the raffle cars this year, we have two cars. We have a driver. We have a 74 Chevy Impala. Then we have the 74 Oldswagon. And what we're going to do with them is we're going to sell the tickets. And we're going to pull two tickets. The first guy, the first ticket gets the choice of which one he wants. He could have the driver or the wagon. Then we're going to pull another ticket, and whatever car's left, the other person gets it. Mm-hmm. So
wagon.
Yeah,
definitely wagon. I can get a driver anywhere.
And then we got the 74 Chevy Impala for the Joker Wire class that we're giving away, and I actually just painted that last weekend, all white, the windows white and everything. Then we have Fine Arts coming down from Pittsburgh, going to paint it up whatever he wants to paint on it, and
that's awesome.
That guy will take his car home all painted up.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
Very nice.
And he's going to be kind of right in the front of the grandstands painting it, so he can kind of let everybody see how he does what he does, and he does a great job. So we're going to have a pretty decent, bright white car for him to do whatever he wants to.
That's very cool.
That's going to be cool, and he does such a great job.
It was
on
cool
those.
Last year. He went out and did the walls at Blizzard Bash.
Yeah, that was.
Remember they sent him out. They sent a bunch of officials on a paint detail. And they couldn't find the paint that he wanted. And they brought it back, and he looked at the can, shook it a couple times. That'll work.
Yeah, he did an awesome job last year on the walls too. It's so cool to watch him work because he just thinks about something for a minute and boom, he's on it. We went out and Josh and I went out and watched him do like small nameplates. And he was knocking them out. 5 minutes a plate, and they were awesome. Every one of them looked different, and they were awesome. It's really cool to watch him work.
Unlike Jake's cars, which all look the same at the end. Perfectly straight in the nose, perfectly straight in the back, and a bunch of checks stacked on the dash.
Yeah.
So Tim, how's registration and everything coming for Bash for Cash? How many cars do you have
everything's pretty much full. The only class really ain't full. Turn back the clock, but it's right there. There'll probably be about 60 cars in that class, that run, I would say, if everybody shows up. But that's pretty much the only class is not completely full. So we're over the 400 mark, pushing 5 or so.
You're pushing 500
in trucks.
And again,
we count the power wheels and the mowers. We're probably going to be over 600, but it's going to be a great time. It always is.
Absolutely.
That show is. It seems like it keeps growing and growing, and I'm probably going to outgrow the fairgrounds where I'm at.
I said last year that everything was great, and you guys had to find another place because I didn't see where you could put any more people in there. That place was full last year. I mean, there was a ton of people there.
Yeah, I was just on the phone today with hotels because my phone's been ringing off the hook with people trying to find hotels, and the only hotels that I found is about an hour and a half away from the fairgrounds can be even booked. Everything else around that area is pretty much booked. Camping is right on track of where it was. It's going to be crazy, but Now
what is it? You said like 1,200.
Hopefully everybody calms down this year. Because they was getting a little stupid last year in the campground, so that's going to be calming down a lot. I want everybody to have a great time, but I want people to come and watch a derby and then camp, not kind of being crazy.
How many campsites did you say there, Tim? 1,200 or 1,400, something
There's
like that?
1,400 spots with water and electric hookups. I think last year we had 750 campers there. And like right now, I think you're real close to 400 right now. Usually, a lot of people come the day of and buy their camp spot, but it should be probably. I would say there's probably going to be more campers this year than last year.
Gee,
that's crazy. That is insane.
So, yeah, I mean it's a great fairgrounds for what I do there. I mean. Because you can't even hardly find a fairgrounds around Ohio that has more than 300 or 400 spots for a camper to be at. Now I found a spot where you can get 1,400 with water and electric. That's awesome.
Absolutely. That's last year. I was out walking around and I couldn't believe how big that place was. I mean, it is huge. There's so much space there. It's and like I said, the last year. I mean, there was so many people there. It was an incredible turnout.
We're going to try to use 2 gates this year. We're going to do the front gate as like campers and general parking. Then the back gate is going to be the derby cars. So the one gate don't get slammed, but they probably will anyway. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to break it up a little bit, and hopefully that helps out having 2 gates open, so cars and trucks can get in there, and campers and all that. So, but. I think it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're planning on getting out there Saturday. We'll be set up Saturday and everything, and do our thing Saturday and Sunday, and then get out of there and drive back home. But last year it was, I don't know, it was without parallel. When you go on the grandstand side about halfway up and you look out at the track and how huge the track is and the lighting and everything that was there, it was like, I don't know. Words escape me. It was huge. I mean, there was just cars from end to end. I got out there to see a good chunk of the compact, like the compact B main, and there was so many cars on the track. It was unreal.
Yeah. Hopefully this year you have a little bit of dry weather before, because I know last year it'd been a little wet and you guys had to scrape the track some before.
Yeah, it rained like the week before the whole derby. I mean, we had to scrape the track. I'm hoping it don't rain this weekend, but it's calling for rain. I'm hoping to get down there and set up the track this weekend so it can kind of, if it does rain, get hard and it don't get muddy, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to stay up on it. But
last year it started out a little muddy, and then it dried up pretty decent. And then, of course, until you had the torrential downpour Saturday or Sunday night. But, I mean, up to then, the weather was pretty decent. I mean, the track held up pretty well, really.
Right. I mean, we had to scrape we cut the whole track, one whole side down last year a lot, so it kind of sloped down.
Yep.
We're hoping we don't have to do that this year, So, but the track's pretty hard now. We rolled it a bunch, and I was down there a week and a half ago looking around, and the track was like concrete, so and level where it don't have no water spots and stuff like that. So I think this year we're going to be great with a great track.
That's awesome.
1,200 pallets of Quickcrete and vibratory roll. It'll tighten that right up.
I ran Sunday afternoon, and it was definitely dry. It was dry and hard. The track was.
Yeah, I was out.
Quick crack.
Most of the weekend I was out picking up, cleaning up after heats and stuff. And the track really held up well.
You had a car in your back seat.
Yeah,
Sunday. That was.
Yeah, Tiffany was.
That was crazy.
drove her caddy on top of me. But.
That was.
Yeah, last year was a great show. I think this year's going to even be better.
Yeah, it was awesome last year. I mean, the 80s and newer kicker class, they really turned it up. That was some crazy heat action last year. I mean, those guys were getting after it. They put on a really good show.
The high ends and the old iron did a nice job too.
Yeah.
Both big classes last year really stepped it up. I mean, like you said, I think the 80 kicker classes actually really stepped it up from the year before. And
yep.
Then the stupid downpour before the feature, the 80 kicker cars, right after the turn back the clock feature, it downpoured and as a monsoon, and so the feature wasn't the greatest, but we got it through, I guess.
Absolutely. That's the one thing you can't. I mean, Mother Nature is the one thing that you guys can't control, and I mean, you got to do what you got to make best with what you have, and I mean, you guys have, did a nice job of that, so. I mean, you gotta play the cards you're dealt.
No matter what you got to make chicken salad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta. Yes, you do.
Tim, how about this deal where you're giving away a couple of motors at Blizzard Bash this year?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we're taking over Blizzard Bash. So I kind of wanted to give back to the drivers out there, and it's all a team event, so I didn't really know how to do anything, so I called up Baldwin Engines and talked to him a little bit, and we worked together, and we're going to give a 355 Baldwin motor, complete stacks and all, away to any driver that brings a car there is going to get 5 tickets for free, and any mini car driver comes is going to get 5 tickets. The mini car drivers are going to go in a bucket by themselves. And every V8 driver, we just added the class trucks because the trucks guys beat me up, so I added them out there. So anybody with a V8 motor will go in a bucket. Then we're going to pick one ticket, and that guy is winning a brand new motor, 355 from Baldwin. Then we're going to do the same thing with the mini cars, and they're going to win a brand new Baldwin 3100, I do believe. That's what it is, a 3-1. So, and it's just to kind of say, hey, give them back to the guys out there to get to know them, and then they get to know us since we're going to be there for a while.
Mm-hmm. Now, Tim, you guys raised the payoffs in all the classes out there this year too, right?
We raised the payout, pretty much in all the classes out there a little bit, just to kind of say, hey, because that show is unbelievable. I mean, I've been going out there for 6 years watching it and liking what I see out there, and so I thought, well, it ain't really a bag fest. No. So I thought, well, let's give them a little more money this year. So, that's what we did in all the classes. So,
just to jump in real quick, does Russ know that you did that?
Yeah, Russ knew we did that. Yeah, so.
It was funny when we went out for Capital City Carnage. Chris and I sat with Tim, and was it just Tim that sat with us, or was it Josh and I? But
what, at dinner?
Yeah.
When we went to lunch, I sat with Russ and Josh, and you sat with Ben.
Yeah, Ben and I. And it was funny because we had the exact same conversations with both brothers. Like, we talked about the same things, and both brothers were. And it's not like they were like, hearing each other talk, but they both, I mean, their ideas are, they work as such a team. Like, and it was just so cool because, like, we got done and we're walking away, and they're like, we'd say something, be like, yeah, we were just talking about that, and then they'd say something like, yeah, we were talking about that too, and it was just like the ideas that these guys have for, like, trying to improve the sport and trying to push it to another level is just, it's so cool. And I mean, I definitely think there's some really awesome things coming in the future.
I agree.
And these guys are definitely at the forefront of really expanding the derby world.
And so, Brian, you said it best: is Russ needs to relax and just let Tim spend money.
No, that's not what I said. I said I thought they should have a combine derby because we're in Kansas and there's a lot of combines out there.
Off already with the combine.
So, but Tim and Russ shot me out on that one. That's the only thing I keep hitting them up on whenever I see him. But that isn't happening.
Tim's never raised his voice with anyone that I've seen. But he did to Brian when the Combine Derby crossed into a team Combine Derby.
Yeah.
Russ looked at him and said,
Bash, I mean, I think that dirt show out there has enough things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we don't need no combines, that's for sure.
I agree.
But I don't know. Can you get a combine in and out?
No.
Yeah, I think you can. I think
My favorite part was after Brian brought up the second time, Tim pulled his phone out and deleted his contact for Brian. Right on the spot. So we're done here.
well,
What I like about it, though, I mean, I went out last year to Bash for Cash to drive, and then, I made Topeka the last couple of years to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But be honest with you, I think if you're going to go out there, the value of actually bringing a car and going is so great. Because I went out there, I just did the wire class, the Joker class, and by the time I got out there, we paid the entry fee, we got a shirt, just all the other stuff that was going on. I almost think it was more of a value to bring a car and run than it was even just to go watch. I mean, now we're talking about if you bring a car and you go out and run, you get a chance to get a motor, a Baldwin at that, and just that value's got to be to actually bring a car with you and not just go to spectate, but actually drive. Right. is pretty impressive.
I mean, think about it. I mean, that can. I mean,
real quick, just to be clear, the engine giveaway is at Bash for Cash.
No, the engine giveaway is at Blizzard Bash.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
I got confused. Yeah. Okay.
Screwed it up.
All right. Perfect.
Well, I was talking about, like I said, when I went out to Bash for Cash last year. Like I said, I thought the entry was very reasonable, and everything you got for that, I think it was actually cheaper to bring a car and run than it was if I would have, went to just drive or just to spectate. I mean, it's the value is incredible.
And see, that's when we started this thing with the Bash for Cash. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to kind of get it where the driver felt like they was getting their money's worth. So our entry fees, it was $100 for the big money shows, and like this year $75 for the other shows, and they're paying $2,000 to win for them. And then you get a free event shirt and stuff like that. So by the time you get there, if you bought your ticket and you bought your event shirt, you're saving like $20.
Yeah.
That's
and
then you even get to have fun running. So I mean, that's what it was all about.
That's the thing. I mean,
and I can see for sure, in the future, fairly soon, I would say there's some really good things going to come to demolition derbies. Some big things coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to be involved in them.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you look at Bash for Cash, and it's funny. This kind of ties in. But my mom, I was working a double last week, and I'm at work, and the phone rings, and I pick it up, and it's my wife. She's like, "Your mom just called me," and I'm like, "Oh boy." She's like, she was so excited she saw you guys on TV. And I'd never told her that we were on, Channel 12, but she found it, or actually a friend of theirs saw it flipping through, and she watched it.
Just so everybody knows, when he started the story, I assumed that the phone call was going to be his mom asking what he wanted her to pack in his lunch. Go on.
No, my wife does that for me. So she's like, so I hadn't really seen her, but she was. I mean, she was like the ultimate proud mom, yada yada yada, being on TV and stuff. So we went to Easter dinner yesterday, and my parents are huge race fans. They love racing. That's they've been in that for 50 years, 60 years. And
AJ Foyt's been in your house.
Yeah, and but they were never really into derbies. I mean, they supported me when I did them, but it just wasn't their thing. So we went to Easter dinner yesterday. Of course, that's the first time I saw my mom. She's like, "Oh my goodness, I watched you guys did a nice job, yada yada." She goes, "I can't believe the money involved in demolition derby." And I said, "You mean what it cost?" She goes, "No, what they're paying." She goes, "The one show." She's like, "There was like three things where you said they won you could win $10,000." I said, "Yeah, it's when they go to in Ohio, which is Tim and Ross's Bash for Cash." And I'm like, where else do you go? I mean, there isn't races that pay 3 classes $10,000 in a weekend.
No.
I mean, you go to Bash for Cash and there's 3 classes paying $10,000 to win, and then they pay well down through. I mean, it's just these guys really take care of the drivers. I mean, does everybody go away happy? Not always, but it's very rarely that everybody does go away happy. But I mean, the inspection crew is second to none. I mean, If there's an issue, they talk it out. There's no arguing. It's really the way things are done. I mean, I definitely think it's a good, good progression. Things are going to really improve with Tim and Russ taking over some of the bigger shows. So I'm really looking forward to it. Bash is definitely one of my favorite shows of the year. I mean, you go to Ohio and they never run out of wagons. There's going to be 25 Chevy Roundbacks and Bash for Cash when we go because they're there every year, and it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's a lot of good name drivers from all over that actually come and run. But there's good drivers all over the United States on demolition derbies too. So, yep. I mean, I'm just lucky to have a couple of big shows that actually is people talk about, and I love that. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make them even bigger. Mm-hmm. And I want to do some things for drivers that they probably has never had done, around this area, and it'll probably happen sometime soon.
That's awesome. I like the sound of that.
Well, we'll be waiting for that information to come out, and as we move through the course of this season, and we certainly appreciate all the opportunities and the support that we've got from Smash It, and look forward to working with you here again in a couple weeks when we get down there for the Bash for Cash. Is there anything that we missed this time through?
The only thing that I wanted to mention is just, about the sponsors. Couldn't do it without them. Like the raffle cars this year, I don't know if everybody knows, but Russ is going to have Fighting Cancer right this year, so we're kind of doing all the raffle money going to go towards cancer here in Ohio at St. James. And, we couldn't even do this show without, like, Near Big Rock, Derby Tees, Scott's Derby Tires, R&R gas pedals, Double D power steering pump, CIDS, Catskill Fabrication, Pops Parts, Roy Turner rear ends. I mean, they actually step up and help us out a lot, all them sponsors, and I don't even know if I probably even forgot a couple, so I'm sorry for that, but, yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing, and hopefully my brother can fight through what he's fighting through right now and make it through it and come back next year even better.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Certainly wish him the best in terms of recovery, and as I understood from talking with him the other day, everything seems to be going at least in the direction that it's supposed to be going. Mm-hmm. And if nothing else, you're not going to beat his spirit. He doesn't always an upbeat guy. So we wish you guys the best. Keep moving forward. If anything else comes up, be sure to let us know, and we'll be talking with you here in a couple weeks.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tim. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Best to Russ.
There goes Tim Clark. Definitely, sending our best out to Russ as he goes through his treatments and gets closer and closer to being deemed cancer-free. We touched on it a few minutes ago. Bash for Cash, May the 26th through the 28th. Online, you can find out more information, www.smashitderby.com. Ross County Fairgrounds in Chillicothe, Ohio, smashitdemo.com. 80s and newer, and turn back the clock, and the compacts, all paying in excess of $10,000. Approaching 600 entries when you factor in lawnmowers and Power Wheels. Weekend passes are $75. Kids age 6 to 14 or 30. Single-day passes available only on Sunday. $30 there. Smash is going to be giving away Baldwin engines at Blizzard Bash 2017. Compact drivers will be eligible with 5 tickets going in the bucket for a 3.1. All full-size drivers will be eligible with 5 tickets for Baldwin 355. We alluded to it. Here's the info on it. Blizzard Bash 2017 coming up 9th through the 13th at the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka. Thursday the 10th is National and Qualifying Team Round 1s, 4 o'clock start there. Friday the 11th is the RC Derby at 9 o'clock. 6 o'clock is the National and Qualifying Team Round 2, 14 to 17-year-old youths also on the card. Saturday the 12th, the morning session is Compact and Limited Weld Team Round 1, 10 a.m. start, 6 p.m. Power Wheels, all Team B mains, trucks, youth, and bone stock on the evening. And then Championship Sunday on the 13th, 1 o'clock start time, National Qualifying, Limited Weld, and Compact Team A mains. We're going to be talking with Willy Lauckner here in just a few minutes about May Mania. We'll give you some details on that one in a moment. But first, the 2017 Mandan Team Show. Just about 2 months away for that one. Really looking forward to getting up there to the Dakota Speedway in Mandan, North Dakota. They've got the group on there on Facebook. You can find out more information there. It's at Dakota Speedway along Spring Trail in Mandan, North Dakota on the 10th of June. It's our first trip up there. Really looking forward to getting there. Ken Hoff's in charge of it. 701-391-6211. If you got questions, you can also get a hold of Dustin Anderson. He can help you out with that stuff. This one's only about 3 months away, the Midwest Smash Fest in Geneva, Nebraska, with Chad Bumgarner at the helm of that one, 402-759-2583. That's 402-759-2583. Punch into Google, Midwest Smash Fest. It'll bring you to the same website that you see on the screen right now. This is an incredible payout. Everything's guaranteed. $125,000 being handed out that day. Fresh cars only, two-man teams pay out $20,000 for first team, second place $15,000, $13,000 for third, $11,000, $10,000 still being given away for fifth. That's $5,000 apiece if you're doing the math at home. Awesome payout right there. And another group of guys that are doing good things here in New York, Spinning Wheels Productions. They're working with FTR Spring Showdown on May the 6th at the Boonville Oneida Fairgrounds in Boonville, New York. The 20-car limited weld main paying $1,500 to win. Economy V8s are $1,200. Compacts are $1,000. The Spring Fling is going to be at the Otsego County Fairgrounds in Morris on June the 17th. Limited welds are paying $1,200 to win, plus the Economy V8s, Economy Compact, and trucks. August 3rd and 5th is the Otsego County Fair at Morris again. August 4th is going to be the Wayne County Fair in Honesdale, down in Pennsylvania. August 25th is the GDS Fair in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania, and the Spinning Wheels production season rounds out on September the 30th with the San Filippo Smash. It's at the Otsego County Fairgrounds again in Morris. Jump online, spinningwheelsproductions.com has all the info on that one. Dan Bolton, he's already got his ticket booked. He's going to go out there and be in competition with Paul Cox and Team Easy Does It, and as part of the two-man truck heat, we're going to see Willy Lauckner in action as well on May the 13th at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. May Mania 2017, the tickets are on sale. You've got to get them early if you're going to get a ticket because the place sells out every time. If they doubled the size of the arena, they would still sell out just as fast. Online, you can find out more, sterndirtracing.com. It's going to be an awesome, awesome show out there. Last year was where we had the El Camino Park on our laps. There was nothing that can compare to it, and we've got the opportunity to go back out there for the first of what we hope is many trips through the course of 2017 to go out and check out what's happening in the Salt Lake City area with May Mania and Stern Dirt at the Golden Spike Arena. Willy Lauckner, I got to get him on the phone here. Enjoy some conversation amongst yourselves because it's not nearly as exhilarating to watch me dial the phone when we have other people in the room. Last week, y'all had a chance to see what that was like. I know it was really compelling.
Yeah, I didn't make it. We had a sick household, so I stayed home. And
I appreciate it. Don't come around if you're sick. Stay home.
Cox is coming out here for the Father's Day?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard officially. Whatever he's coming out for, I'm sure he's going to hit Bolton first because I'm sure Bolton's going to get him in Utah. So I'm sure he's probably going to return the favor when he comes out here.
I think we're talking about Father's Day.
Yeah,
over there in Morris.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a good turnout this year. I think.
Yeah,
usually is.
I think with Jeremy promoting, I think the Morris Fair is really going to pick up. A lot of guys are looking to support him as they should. He takes care of the drivers, good rules. So
picked up a 2010 Dodge frame, but I don't think I'm going to have time to put another car together for that. Or
put
at least a truck.
Just put a Crown Vic frame on it or body on it. You'll be fine.
Actually, I was looking at a neighbor's got like a 70 El Camino. I thought it'd be fun to throw that on a truck frame.
Right.
But I still think I'm going to have time. But we'll see.
Give it a try. I hear the Ranger frames. Those 4x4 Ranger frames are already.
You got a bunch of vacation time. Just use
them. Burn some vacation time. Willy Lauckner joining us here on the hotline as he gets ready to go into the ring at May Mania. Willie, man, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
It's going okay. How's everything going in terms of planning for May Mania? It's right around the corner, about a month away.
Well, it was going good until I broke my tranny. I switched over to a manual, and it took a little bit to get used to, but I think it'll be interesting.
That's going to be a little bit of work, but you guys are pretty good at rolling with the punches and adapting. All right.
Now, is that with a car or truck?
Oh yeah, just put in second gear and drop the clutch. Let her eat.
Well, I'm going to step into that. Nobody that I know out here is running the standard, and the setup that I'm doing right now is with it's a Saginaw 3-speed, so it's not obviously bulletproof. But
I'm running an NV 3500, so
okay.
It's just that's what I'm going to do. I talked to my buddy Cordell Hansen. He said just put in second gear and let her eat. So
maybe I'll have to hit you up with some questions after the show. I'll Facebook it because I'm in completely new territory with this. I've never ran a 3-speed, and other than buying a couple parts from near at Bell and stuff, I'm lost.
Yeah, the track's so big in Utah that that I think I'll be able to catch third gear at the end of the arena.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
there'll be some junk and heat, that's for sure.
They do it in Topeka. You definitely got enough range to do it out there. I mean, you'll be able to wind her out in third gear.
Oh yeah, well I actually broke my tranny in the heat, so I had to buy a tranny from there, and I couldn't believe that tranny held up to some abuse. My A-arm strap broke on my front end, so tires were bouncing back and forth, so I couldn't hold on to the steering wheel anymore. But I just held her straight and to the floor and let it eat.
Absolutely, that's the way they do it out there.
In terms of May Mania, I mean, everybody goes out there with the intention to win. Everybody goes out there with the intention to compete. But when you pull through that arena, is the atmosphere different as a driver, given the legacy that track has? You know, we've heard people talk about at Blizzard Bash where you can't help but drive a little bit harder, even though you go out there with the intention, I just want to go out there and have fun and race cars. Does that play in at this point when you go out there? You're going to go when in Rome, you do as the Romans.
Yeah. Well, every time I go to Utah, I get stuck in there with all the Utah guys, so it's usually you just get teamed up on, and they drive hard, so that's the way I like to drive. So you just kind of feed off them, and hopefully don't get in a bad situation because there'll be 5 of those guys driving up your back end.
Well, yeah, that does happen. That circular start.
They get you in the corner.
If you stay in the middle of the arena, they won't hit you. But if you get on one end of the arena, they'll come all the way across there just to pile you up. And
they do it effectively.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's the team draw for this year is unbelievable. I mean, the entry roster has been posted a couple times, and the pairings and the competition level that's going to be out there. It's, you know, we've made this somewhat a common phrase, and we don't want to wear the thing out, but every heat's going to be a feature, just in terms of the speed and the carnage that's going to be happening out there on the track.
Absolutely.
I think with all everybody thinks the Montana team's probably going to run together, but I think that'll turn a bunch of people's eyes around. That starts going on. There'll be some interesting draws, that's for sure.
So, why would you say that those guys aren't going to run together? You're going to try and pile each other up first?
Well, you never know. It just depends on the mood when we get out there, I guess.
Yeah. just if you decide that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we run against each other all summer long up here, so it kind of gets tired running together all the time or running with each other, so maybe we'll switch it up down there.
That's
But there's some nasty cars coming out. I've seen some builds, and there's some good builds.
What are you building? What are you working on?
Just a junk Ford.
Junk.
I'm running like a 75 Continental. I talked to a bunch of people about them, and I don't know, we'll see. Zach Johnson, he says they're the cat's meow for a stock show and stuff, but I'm going to test it out for a little weld show. We'll see what happens. My buddy, my partner Chris Moore, he's been running these Fords for a while now, and he drives harder than me probably. I mean, he has an LS and does not let off 10 grand the whole show. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some junk made quick probably.
Right. Some of those mid-70s Fords, we've seen them do some damage. Mm-hmm. Those are pretty popular down in Woodstock, Virginia. Mm-hmm. A lot of those guys have run those. We've seen the Pattons run those quite a bit.
They're becoming more and more popular everywhere. We saw a few more when we went to Crappville City Carnage this year. There's a few LTDs out there. Obviously, Don Santel has raised the value of them. He's won some big shows in them. But then Don Santel could win a derby in a wheelbarrow, so
right.
That's kind of
like
different.
And I'm not beating up Fords. That's what I'm building this year. But the rule changes have really made a difference with the Fords, and you get the 75 or mid 70s Fords. They would be able to change the rules and do some frame manipulation and especially bumper mounts and it certainly makes
they're a good heavy frame. I mean it's not chintzy, but it's always been the front bumper that's been kind of their Achilles heel, and if you can get that front bumper on there right, they're pretty stout. So
what are you guys doing for bumpers on those? Because Stern Dirt allows the homemade bumper.
I just run in my bumper I made for Blizzard Bash last year, just 75 impala bumper loaded, and I think that's gonna be the best on it. I kind of wanted to put a pointy on it so I could really stuck it in some frames, but I didn't want to nose it up too quick.
Yeah, those pointy bumpers. There's a lot of leverage on those. They do as much damage to the car they're on as the car they're hitting.
That's it. Or 20 years ago, we used to
throw them in the jug pile.
We used to pull them off and throw them in the hedgerow or out the pile because we didn't want them.
Now they're $500 a piece.
Yeah, funny how it works, isn't it?
If you only knew.
I had just
piles and piles and piles of money just thrown away.
I can only think of one win I think with like a Smith 75 Ford. It was but that was an LTD wagon though.
Yeah. Is it somehow make it
last summer I built an 03, and every derby I ran on that 03 I'd flatten a pointy out in like 4 or 5 hits.
That's
we
impressive.
couldn't load them. We'd head on, just flatten them out. So they'd just be a flat Mopar pointy.
That's impressive. But when them 03s are built right, they are pretty nasty up front. So I can see that happening.
They're a fun. They're just you just drive forward and hold the floor, and they don't even move, right? But if you could figure the steering out and never have a steering problem with those things, they would be the best. They'd win show after show. There's no way to beat them. Steering them.
That's the goal of some of these aftermarket parts. Is just simply to soak up that soft spot, because otherwise it's basically the perfect car. I mean, as long as you're allowed to do the right things, and we've seen those how many times just in stock shows do incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, they're definitely nasty when they're built properly.
You drove one? Oh no, yours was older. Yours was older. Yours was like yours was still box style. Yours was like a 90, 91, right?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't built properly though.
I think it was built properly. That's why you had to unbuild it in the pits, right?
I didn't really unbuild it. I just untilted it.
Just untilted it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm completely out of my range. I've driven a ton of metric GMs, but I can't think of really any. Maybe I really can't. I can't think of any metric Fords that I've driven.
No.
So it's going.
I think I'm going to get my first foray into a metric GM this summer, so that'll be interesting.
Did you get one, or you don't have it yet?
Last time I talked to him, he had one at the house or the shop. So.
Oh, because I saw you brought something home.
Yeah, that wasn't
metric. It was too big.
Yeah. that was old iron there. Really, really clean old iron.
Yeah.
Like it's still got rust proofing on the frame.
5?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever have anything that nice before?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The one I got the first Cadillac I got from Pete Hansen, and he'd bought it at an estate auction in Connecticut, and it was from some little old lady who passed away. Mm-hmm. It only had like 60,000 miles on it. That was a 4 or 75.
Wow.
So yeah, I've had some pretty nice cars.
Good.
GM wise, I've had some real nice Chryslers too. I went and bought.
Is this the $50 car you told me?
No, I bought it. No, I wish I bought a Grand Fury Sport that only had 56,000 miles on it. Brought it home, knocked the windows out of that. 2-door. That was fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I bought a few Pontiacs right out of Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
Brought them home, knocked the glass out of them.
In the parking lot?
No, I brought them home first.
Knocked the glass out in the parking lot.
Spotless. Both were Bonnevilles from I think they were like 75s.
Mm-hmm. What are the odds if they did the drawings in a different order at Bash for Cash that Impala that they raffle off would have shown up in the wire class?
That would be cool.
Right?
That would be really cool.
Entirely possible.
We built them in the pit before.
Yeah, you got everything you need. I mean, you could go to one of the header guys and get a set of headers and cut the exhaust off it, and you could get everything you needed right there to run it.
Yep.
Well, at Bash for Cash, I mean, you could build, other than the welding time, I mean, you could build anything from just going through the vendor area, front to back. I mean, it's
Blizzard Bash, you can do the same thing. Willie, what else do you have planned for this year in addition to running at May Mania?
I didn't hear you. I can barely hear you guys now.
I don't know what's been going on. The phone is loading up with static pretty bad. Let's see. Let's try to do this here. What else have you got planned for this year?
When I get back, the next weekend I got Zach Ponzer's bachelor party, and then I got a local semi-stock show, I guess you'd call it, and then I might run over to Mandan and watch it, and probably just a bunch of local shows until Blizzard Bash.
Yeah, you got the same team coming back for Blizzard Bash this year?
Yep, same team, and I'm running 80s mod too.
Nice. You were in that mod class here a couple years ago, and that basically the 5-foot cars. What went into that build?
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that 80s mod, that old iron mod class I ran.
No? All right, fair enough. It made for some great pictures, though.
Go ahead.
It made for some great pictures, though. But all the same, it's going to be good to see you back there. Is that, if I remember right, the 80s mod class was almost all, a couple times that we've seen that run, Brian, that was almost all cars from up in Montana, North Dakota, lease-sprung converted Fords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was. And everybody drove them like they were Imperials.
Yeah, just brain scramblers.
Yeah.
So when you say it was a semi-stock or a semi-build class up there, what's that like for everybody that's not familiar with what your neighborhood is in terms of where they are for stock and mod cars?
Well, you can weld arm forward. You can have bumper shocks. You can hard nose, so cut 8 inches off your frame right to your steering box, weld your bumper on. You can put Mopar shocks along the side of your frame, weld them in. You can have full cradle, full tranny brace. You can't have a brace rear end, and you got to chain your doors, but you can canoe your trunk with a full cage.
You got to chain your doors?
I was gonna say, why would they let you run or chain the door or weld the door shut?
It's a chain show, I guess. So
that's crazy.
I like the rules. I put a nice pointy out front. To top my bumper, 31 inches. It's going to be pretty mean.
It sounds like it's going to be pretty mean.
Chain class.
Yeah, that's quite the chain class there.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people showing up there with cars they just knocked the windows out of, and I think it's $5,000 to win. There'll be a lot of junk cars there.
Wow, what are you taking?
I'm just taking a box Ford.
Nice.
See, a chain class with that build, I know what I wouldn't take, and that would be a no-post Mopar. I don't know what it is about no-post Mopars, but them doors end up on your lap quick.
Yeah, you don't want to get
You need a little welding or at least put a post in.
In my 03 last year, I had a guy had an 80s, a diplomat wagon or whatever. One shot right in the ass end and made it into like a two-door. It just bananas up.
What about in terms of the cage inside? What are you allowed there? I mean, you'd think that if those doors are just chained shut with all the hardware that's happening in front of the A-arms, you got to do something in terms of keeping the driver safe.
Oh yeah, you get both door bars and a dash bar. You get you can do whatever you want for your cage. I mean, cages are pretty nice.
That's cool.
They can't be touching like your sheet metal and your gas tank protector, but you get them close enough.
Real quick, we had a question coming in from one of our listeners at home. Has your Blizzard Bash team coached you at all about what colors to look for and what colors to avoid in terms of hitting the driver's door?
No, I just use my drivers, my teammates to help stop me.
Good answer.
I hit Shea Walden probably about 20 mile an hour right in his driver's door, put a hole in his door, and backed up and got going again. I was just making sure he wasn't sleeping.
It's good. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
That was very kind of you. Way to look out for your partners, man.
No. Yeah, I didn't even know I did it. We got done. He's like, "Holy shit, you hit my driver's door hard." I was like, "I don't even remember hitting you."
That's awesome.
Sounds like Dan Bolt.
So yeah, it happens, you know.
Yeah, it does.
Hung up maybe.
I think it's great that team's going to be back together to make another run at it this year. That was such a fun team to watch, and I know you guys are going to come in with some bullseyes on your back, but nonetheless, it was a great group, and seeing all you guys going to be coming back together again for this year's installment, it's just gives everybody one more reason to want to come and watch Blizzard Bash this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, those three guys I'm with are the best. I mean, they can wheel a car. They're just great out there. And then I just come out there just to hammer down on people.
Yeah, just the enforcer.
Just to wreck some people's days.
The enforcer.
You need guys like that on the team.
Yep. Well, Willie, man, is there anybody that you wanted to make mention of that helps get the car out there time and time again?
Just all the people that kind of gave me advice on these Fords and on these manuals, I guess.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks when we all get together again out in Ogden, Utah for May Mania. We wish you the best of luck. Hopefully the build goes smooth from here, and we'll see you out there in Salt Lake City.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Willie. We'll catch you soon.
Yep, bye.
There goes Willy Lauckner. Got a busy schedule ahead for him, just like all the drivers that we end up talking to.
Is Dookie's on that team, right?
Yeah, that team was Ponzer, Zach Ponzer,
Zach,
Shea Walden,
Shea,
Dookie,
and then Willie.
All
right, I thought that's what it was. I was sitting over trying to
remember it. It was the black and green cars that were there at the end.
There's a couple wins on that team.
Yeah. What was it, 176?
171 or 176 that Shea's got.
Just for Shea.
It's not bad.
Nope, not a bad resume at all.
Did you see the thing a couple weeks ago? It was going around Facebook. It was one of the dent shows from Indianapolis that Toby won highly.
I did not. In terms of the folks that are watching at home on Finger Lakes Television, that's going to do it for our installment. If you want to catch the rest of the show, you can jump online, come to Finger Lakes 1, and watch on demand and catch the balance of the program. Also, for everybody watching at home, coming up at an hour from now, Gulf J is going to be on. So thanks a lot. That's going to conclude our broadcast for Finger Lakes Local Cable Access. Go on.
No, it was insane. I mean, the way they built those cars and the dent cars, towards the end, and then running on asphalt, they were just, oh man, was it crazy!
Crazy is an understatement for asphalt.
Yeah.
I just don't see where that's a good decision at all. I mean, maybe you've had a lot of concussions, so I mean, it might seem like a good idea to you, but it just doesn't strike me that's
no. And that's what I asked Toby. I said, man, that was. I texted him. I said, hey, I just watched you win. And he goes, what was that? And I said, the dent show. And he's like, what do you think? I'm like, you guys are all crazy.
He looked at a wall of 800 trophies and tried to remember what you were talking about.
Probably.
Some old videos of the asphalt shows. I think it was like Washington State, Oregon area. When watching all them old iron cars go through there on the asphalt was it's pretty cool.
And that's the thing. Like when I saw asphalt, like down to Owego, they'd either water it down or they would
dish soap on it, right?
Yeah,
they
would
do something to make it dirt dent. It wasn't, man. Every one they were basically burning out the whole time. So they were putting rubber down on top of the asphalt to make it even more fast. And
it's great when it rubbers up.
Oh, it was incredible. Mike Decker was on there, earning the name Slam Man. He was just out of control, and it was those guys were crazy, but it was cool. I mean, like I said, I talked to Toby, and we talked for quite a while afterwards, and he was just giving me the rundown on the builds and how things went, and it's so awesome when you can hear guys with those experiences tell the stories.
Ask me after the show about rubbering down a slick track. I got to tell you something after the show's over.
At work we use we go up to the airport. And we use the
jet fuel,
not jet fuel, the de-icing fluid or whatever they call it for the planes, and we spray that on the tarmac, and it can be a little tricky to get going.
Yeah.
The flight home from Minnesota when they were de-icing the plane and the de-icing fluid was washing in through the door. Yeah. All the fluid was pouring in through the door. We're trying to get home. We're already been delayed.
That was our first trip.
Yeah.
Our first
all the equipment's in pieces behind us anyway. And we asked the flight crew if they should be concerned at all about this. We're like, no, it's fine. It's like, well, if liquid can get in, I feel like maybe the whole pressurizing thing won't work.
I think it's supposed to work that way, right? So when you get the pressure, that's when it seals?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I felt like the 1971 plane that we were on should have been sealed a little tighter than that from fluid. It's just a shot in the dark. I'm not a pilot. I don't pretend
do you have
to be.
Stickers done yet so we can tag airplanes?
I'm not Can you please explain to him that it's a bad idea for Crash Course to tag airplanes when you walk by and just slap his decal on the side of it?
Yeah, that's not such a good idea.
I think it's a horrible idea. I feel like
there's a doctor in Texas that'll tell you about airplane travel. It turns out you probably don't want to be that guy.
Well, did you just see United kick the wedding couple off? And
I caught the backstory on that. Yeah, that's I think there was a little more of the story on that one.
Somebody was sleeping in their row, so they just tried to sit in the next available row because the plane wasn't full or something. And then it's like, come on.
That's not. Yeah, I don't think that's entirely the version that.
United should probably be more careful about kicking anybody off of their planes right now, no matter what.
I like the fact that we flew on.
We don't fly United anymore.
No, we flew Southwest last time, and we were the B group, so we get on, we go right to the back of the plane, like it didn't even matter. We just always go to the back.
Southwest with their open seating, the best thing to do is get to the back of the plane. Mm-hmm. Love it back there. It's quiet. Yeah. There's never any disruptions.
Mm-hmm. Well, United's fault or their biggest problem was they were too prompt. All I had to do was get on there and say, hey, passenger in seat 23 won't get off the plane, and we're not leaving until he does. About 2 hours.
Yeah, somebody would have done it before.
about 2 hours, so then that guy would have been begging for security to come off the plane because some guys would have beat him. Yeah. So they were a little bit too prompt there, you know.
They were too efficient.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how that would have changed real quick. You know,
mutiny.
2 hours of sitting there at a hot plane.
Yeah, we did that.
We did.
No, we did that.
We did that.
I've been pretty lucky the last couple of years.
I don't know if you were on Minnesota 2 years.
We got stuck in Newark.
One of them we got stuck, and you looked out the window and said something about the tire was flat.
That
on
was
the plane.
Newark.
And then we ended up having to get off and get on another plane because they found something wrong with the engine.
Yeah,
like, don't fly with that guy. But where was the
Minnesota? Remember coming home? We got stuck in O'Hare for like 6 hours.
On the tarmac, though?
We were on the tarmac for 2 or 3.
Yeah. Boy, I don't remember that one.
Remember the girl with a bad attitude that was next to us?
Yes, I do.
That
was a long wait.
Yeah.
That was a long wait because Brian, along with about 60 other people on that flight, were ready to throttle this kid. Yeah. Because there was nothing that could happen on Earth that would make her happy. No. Not one thing was possible.
No. And when we finally took off, the waitress came through and gave us all free beer.
Nice.
She was a very nice not waitress. I'm sorry, stewardess. Jesus, I called her a waitress.
Flight crew.
Yeah, but depending on the size of the plane, that's like a $5,000 bill right there. Mm-hmm. All them beers. What are they? I can't remember last time I flew. It was $8.50 a beer or something like that.
Well, it wasn't that
credit
big.
Cards only.
The pilot actually, they didn't even have lights on. The pilot just turned around and yelled to us, "Buckle up!" It wasn't that.
It was we had the two rows on each side of the aisle. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Chris, how's the RC stuff going?
It's going well.
Good to see.
It's going well. I don't even know in terms of what you're referencing. You're talking about the Derby stuff?
Just in general.
We got an RC Derby coming up on the 23rd, coming up Sunday. It's the launch of New York's Outlaw class because we've got enough guys that are building cars and got stuff that's been a little bit used up. So in conjunction with the wrap-up of the Mud Boss mini-series, we'll have 3 rounds of Derby action. It'll be the stock, the national cars, and then the Outlaws. And the Outlaws, a lot of people have been waiting for this. It has to be center-mount battery, 7,600 milliamp hours. It has to look like a car.
And the rest is Ohio built?
And it has to weigh less than 10 pounds. Other than that, do whatever you want. And you're going to run for an open, unlimited rescues for the first 10 minutes, and after that, it's heads up. And I think that the bodies are supposed to be made out of, basically the idea is that the class is going to be used up cars that have been band-aided together so many times. Now they don't fit any other rules, so they just got to get used up one last time. So you can run extruded angle iron front to back, and you can build the internal cage out of curtain rod, and you can beef up the car, but the body's still supposed to be made out of that soffit material. And I already know that there's 2 cars that are made out of basically galvanized.
Awesome.
So you're getting it's got to be under 10 pounds though. So I don't know if the guy's going to be able to run.
So it's like an Iowa pre-ran rules, right? You get all the fix-it plates on there, so.
Yeah.
You take your fresh car, you beat it up with, hammer, slide it against a couple trees.
Yeah. Back it up against a tree and say it's a pre-ran.
You brought up modified. If there happens to be any modified drivers interested in running Seneca County this year, I know there was a great talk about it. To my knowledge, there is only one modified driver that is paid a pre-entry for that.
Really?
Yeah. So,
we forgot, just to interrupt you real quick, we forgot Crossroads May 2nd. We were running down all the shows. Mm-hmm. Crossroads is in there, too.
So if there's modified guys that are going to run the modified show at Waterloo this year, you need to pre-enter. Go ahead and get your entry sent into Kyle Collinsworth and go from there.
But when they say modified, what do you mean? Like
modified?
It's the
like
2000. It's
like
the 2000.
10, 15,000 pound car.
No.
Bunch of Ohio cars show up.
No.
That's what I mean.
It's kickers, protectors, all that shit. Ben went through and wrote up a pretty nice set of rules for him. And
so I could take, like, for example, Gully's limited weld class, throw a couple kickers in, and it'd be cool.
It's similar to it's similar to the mod class rules that Total Destruction had, right?
I don't know. I haven't really read through it.
I remember.
I thought it was close to like what Canandaigua had.
I'm not sure.
And I could be.
But
totally
anybody
off.
that's interested, go ahead and get your entry into Kyle so they know that there's a class.
The news there is that it has to be pre-registered. You can't show up with a mod car to compete.
I believe it has to be pre-registered. So you're going to want to get your applications in.
What's the date on that? Or at least
July 20.
Hang on. No, I forgot.
We're in Nebraska.
22nd.
15th. We'll be there 22nd.
Theoretically, it's the 22nd. Yep. And then you're coming with me to Dunkirk this year, right?
Yeah. What am I driving?
We'll talk about it later, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta give Hank a shout out. Man. We're gonna hook me up with a car.
Hammer and Hank.
Hank.
If I make it out to Hamburg, dude, I'm lucky enough to get that motor out there. Maybe I'll drop something off, and then to say, hey, I'll be out in a few months to pick it up and drive it.
He'll have it done, and it will be unlike anything you've ever seen. There was a picture of him a couple years ago where there was just this pile of cut metal at his feet. All this metal had to be cut out. The rear end's not even in this Imperial. It was like 1 a.m. And the car was done and at the track by 2 o'clock the next day. He just stayed up all night, just fabbing and got it to fit, got it to work.
That's just insane.
There's some kind of special time warp out there anyway, I think.
Yeah,
the last time I went out there, I was pretty weird when you're finally getting back to the hotel and you see the newspaper of the show you were at the night before. It's like, wait a minute.
Yep.
Wasn't I just there?
You got to get back in the DeLorean, Marty. All right, what do you think?
Stick a fork in it. We're
rambled.
done.
177 done and in the books. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us and enjoying this episode. Thanks for Jake Sherman, Tim Clark, Willy Lauckner coming on to hang out with us for a little while. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see everybody right back here again next Monday. The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies, Your Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.